Hello everyone, this is an online session on building structures 4 which is related to steel structures. In today's session we are going to study about planning of a rigid frame or a moment resistant frame, steel frame. So for your syllabus it is mentioned that you have to plan a building of dimension 18 meter by 48 meter. So we are designing an industrial steel structure with a span of 18 meter and total length of the structure as 48 meter, and this entrance for the structure might be either on this side. Yes, it's better to keep it on this side. So this is how a building can be planned. So here I am providing a columns at a distance of 4 meters. For a columns I have chosen a Indian standard heavy beams of 400 mm depth. If you refer to the steel table, you will find out there are different types of I sections. Usually for any heavy structural element we prefer I sections, since these are more effective in carrying the loads and distributing the loads. So I am choosing I section, which you can represent it by beam B, and also I am choosing a heavy beam, that is Indian standard heavy beam of 400 mm depth. So there are different types of I sections which are provided in a steel table, like Indian standard lightweight beam, Indian standard medium weight beam, Indian standard heavyweight beam, and Indian standard junior beams, Indian standard wide flange beams. So for the columns, if the loads are more, if spans are more, and preferably for columns we choose either a wide flange beam or a heavy beams. So here I am choosing a heavy beam, since the span of the building is too large, that is of 18 meter. So this load on the beam is going to do transfer to the column. So I am choosing a heavy beam of 400 mm depth. Depth in the sense total depth including the flange thickness, web depth and flange thickness. Total I dimension is of 400 mm. This we have studied in the last classes also. And as so I am providing columns at regular intervals of 4 meters. So these many number of columns are placed, and similarly on the other side also. Now I am connecting these columns by providing beam sections, and for beam section I am choosing ISMB 400. You can choose ISMB, ISLB, ISWB, ISHB. All types of beams can be chosen. Since it is a primary beam, you cannot choose a junior beams, and the large spacing span is more, loads are heavy. So I don't prefer a lightweight beam. So instead of that I am choosing a medium weight beam of 400 mm depth. So for this you will be able to see the width of the flange when you are looking from the top, but when you look it from the front side, if I look it from this side, I can see the depth of the I section, which is of 400 mm, whereas the width is somewhere around 140 mm. And in syllabus it is also mentioned that apart from these beams I am also this is one single frame which include 2 columns and 1 beams. Here also 2 columns and 1 beams. Now such number of frames are provided. Now I need to connect all these frames together so that I can provide a one single building unit which will act as a one single unit. Otherwise each frame will deflect in a different manner and the whole structure will fail. So for connecting all these frames I am providing here a beam, and that beam I have chosen it as ISMB 300. Since this is a connecting beam which is not carrying a heavy load as these beams, I am choosing something lesser than the main primary beams. So this is a connecting beam of ISMB 300 mm. Now in session in the syllabus they have mentioned that you have to provide a mezzanine floor for at least 2 bays. So I am providing a mezzanine floor for these 2 bays. Mezzanine floor in the sense, suppose if the entire structure is of a height 6 meters, only for these 2 bays I will provide a one more additional floor at a height of 2 meters. Below that below that floor, the 2-meter height can be used for a storage purpose, and the upper 4-meter height can be used for a office purpose. So if it is an industrial structure, I can store it, and above the this mezzanine floor I can run an office, which is an enclosed part apart from this entire industrial building. So for this I am also providing a staircase here, which is consisting of 9 threads and total of 1.8 meters. So since I am providing a floor at a level of 2 meters, total height I need to cover is 2 meters, which is 2000 mm. I will provide 9 threads, means 10 risers, each riser of 100 mm, and thread width also 200 mm, and thread width also I will keep it as 200 mm. So riser and thread both are at 200. So total width of the flight, length of the flight is 1.8 meter, and total height of the floor height is 2 meters. So this is a primary description of the building. Now let us go in detail. So I have provided the columns here, and then I have provided primary beams. But when I provide a sheet over these primary beams, a sheet cannot stand solely on these beams and columns, because gap is of almost 4 meters and this gap is of almost 18 meters. So what I will do is, this 18-meter gap I will divide it into several individual sections by providing a purlins, so that these purlins will allow me to connect the beams with the sheet. So I am providing, suppose at a 9 meter, that is at the center there is a ridge line. I am providing a purlin at a distance of 0.3 meter on this side, 0.3 meter on this side, and each purlin interval I am giving it as a 1.4 meter. So these are the purlin section. So for purlin section I have chosen a Z section of 100 mm depth, and beams are of ISMB 400, and in between these two purlins there is also a gap of 4 meters, that is from one beam to another principal rafter or a principal primary beam. So for this beam it is not necessary to provide a bar or a secondary beam to hold the loads, but it is necessary to provide a bar or a secondary beam, so that sheet does not deflect because of a wind flow. So for this I am providing a sag rods which are of 40 mm width, 2 mm thickness, and length of the entire span, you can say entire plan dimension. So these dimensions, column to column spacing is 4 meter, in between those two 4 meter I am providing a sag rod. Then this sheeting is slightly extended beyond the column, so that we can provide a gutter over here, and water does not fall onto the rainwater does not fall onto the columns. So this dimension will be more than 18 meter and more than 48 meter. So this is a front elevation of that industrial shed. I am providing a total height of the shed at eaves level as 6 meters, and span is given as 14 meter. This span is center to center distance between the columns. Now I have mentioned the spacing of the purlins which I have provided, which are at a distance of 1.4 meter, 1.4 meter each, and at the ridge level it is 0.3 meter. So what I will do is, first I will draw the columns, then after that connect a column with a principal rafter. For this principal rafter, from the baseline I am giving a riser of 1.5 5 meter. So I'll draw the principal rafter like this, which will be at an angle of 9.46. Either you can draw this base line, give the riser and join it so that you can get a theta, or else you can mark the angle theta and draw the line, intersect those two lines where you will get a ridge point. After that, mark these planned dimensions of a placement of a purlins. So placement of a purlins I am providing at a distance of 0.3, 1.4, 1.4, 1.4 and remaining. So once you mark this point, just take a projection of those points and provide a Z section purlins, which are at an inclined distance of 1.42 meter, whereas horizontal distance is 1.4 meters. Then these are the principal rafter, which you can see the total depth of the rafter, which is of ISMB 400, means this thickness of this rafter is 400, thickness of this principal rafter is 400. Then depth of this section is 100 mm. Then above this there is a sheet or a GI sheets which are of thickness 1.6 mm. You need not to show the thickness of 1.6 mm, just draw a double line, representative line. Then after this we also provide a wall cladding. So to attach a column with a wall cladding, I am providing a Z section over here. So I will provide a Z section, and then Z section is connected to a column, and then this Z section is connected to a wall cladding. So these Z section I am providing from the top, I am providing at a 1.2 meter, 1.2 meter, 1.2 meter and the remaining. So column is of ISHB 400 at 77.4 kg per mm, and Z section I am using of two angles which are connected in opposite direction of 50 by 50 by 6. Then this is how the elevation looks like. Now let us see a junction of a beam and a column, how beam and a columns are connected. So this is a principal rafter and this is a column, and this I section is a connecting beam which will run in the front and a back direction. This is on the horizontal direction, this is vertical direction, and this I section will be in a front and back direction. So ISHB 400 is my column size. So width of the total depth of the column is 400. So I can see the flange thickness here, flange thickness on this side, thickness of web here, or total depth of the web here and thickness here, and then this is the width of the flange, and this is a total depth of I section. For these dimension you can refer steel table, find out ISHB properties. Then I will project these in the upper direction so that I can draw a column. Then this column is attached to a principal rafter at an angle of 9.46 degree. So draw a baseline here at the center, or you can mark a distance of 200 mm from the top and then draw a baseline. Then draw a inclined line marking at an angle of 9.46 degree and then draw the beam. So this beam is of ISMB 400. So total this depth is 400, flange width is 140, flange thickness is 16 mm, web thickness is 8.9 mm. So I am connecting this beam with this column by providing a connecting angle. So for this angle I have chosen 100 by 100 by 10 mm. So one leg of the angle is connected to the beam and another leg of the angle is connected to the flange of the column by providing a bolted connections. So this is how a moment connection is provided, which is very rigidly connected the beam, connecting the beam with the column, but it may not necessary that it is sufficient enough to carry all the loads and the moments. So what we do is we can also provide a haunch. So this haunch I am providing for a distance of, for a depth of 400 mm and for a length of 800 mm. So I am providing a haunch which may be of I section, and this haunch is I am using it as a 18 mm thick plate I section, and I am connecting it with another plate with a bolting. Then this front beam, a beam which will connect two multiple frames, is another I section which is of ISMB 300. This will run in front and back direction. So these beams I am connecting with the angle plate, again cleat angles. So angle plate I am using ISA 70 by 70 by 10 mm angles I am using with 6 bolts on each side. So this is a total detail of beam and column junction. Now let us see the junction at the ridge level. So this is a ridge level where two sections of a principal rafters are interconnected together by a very rigid connection. So I am providing ISA 100 by 100 by 10 on left side, also ISA 100 by 100 by 10 on the right side also. These two will help me connect, and in between there will be a plate which will connect both these two beams with cleat angle, and this is a principal rafter dimensions of 400, same on the other side, ISMB 400. So angle section I am using 100 by 100 by 10, and these are the Z section purlins which are of a dimension 100 mm thick purlins, and to hold those purlins in its position I am providing a seat angle which is a L shape like this, and this L shape angle is of 50 by 50 by 6. Then I will connect this sheet with the purlin, then purlin is connected to the principal rafter. Seat angle will help me to hold the purlin in its own position without any deflections. Then this is how the section at the ridge level, and also we provide a ridge cap so that there won't be any water intrusion into the building. If you look into the 3D section of, or isometric view of a column, beam and a connecting beams. So this is a column of ISHB 400, and this will form a frame like this. This is a principal rafter which is provided with the haunch, and then these two are the connecting beams which will connect this column with another column on this side, another column on this other side. So please do study these diagrams and draw the diagrams as it is, and if you have any doubt you can clarify at any time. Thank you.